All right. Hey team, how you guys doing? So this is our town hall. So we have Joe and Cass here as well. So I'll be adding them up. One second. Here we go. Here's Joe and Cass. So thank you guys for coming to this. We try to do these quarterly, right, Cass? It's quarterly, right?
Yeah, it's quarterly.
Yep. So we're doing this quarterly. This is the time for us to kind of go over some things, touch on anything that is important. Also get some feedback from you all. Our next meeting, we didn't do it this time. It's something I thought about probably like literally 20 minutes ago. Next time we're going to do like a feedback survey just to kind of get some things from you guys. Just so if it's something that's relevant or super important to you guys, we can talk about it on the call. If something that we can't answer on the call, then of course we'll go back, discuss it, and put something out. So that'll be the only difference for our next meeting that we do. But I'll pass it off to Joe and Cass.
All right. Today is February 27th. It's a Tuesday. So yeah, we're just really happy to have you guys on our team. For those who are on, feel free to comment if you want to say anything throughout. If you have any questions or comments, we welcome them all. But we're going to go through things that have been the top of our list and your list as well, which I will touch on something that we did a little bit different this month that we're going to be doing bi-monthly. But yeah, just glad that you guys are on. I don't know if you have anything to add.
Yes. Welcome, team. Hopefully everybody's doing good, and this will be some good information. Dave, how many people's on approximately?
Right now it's 12, 13.
Okay,
13.
Okay, no problem.
But it'll start pending up.
Yeah. No worries. But no, we can get started.
Okay. Well, I'll start with something light. So the first thing I want to say, we had our first roundtable this month. We're going to be doing those every other month. What we did was we chose at random, like I think 6 or 7 people to join, and then it's completely voluntary. You can join if you want to, but what we do is we gather information, we gather feedback from you all so that we can continue to improve. The first roundtable for Joseph, I have to say, if you haven't been chosen yet, you definitely have something to follow because that group was phenomenal. And sharing the feedback, it was very direct. It gave us some things to really work on. And it was overall just a really good conversation. So I appreciate those folks that were on. It did cause us to make some updates, which we'll be talking about on this call. And we'll be doing those, like I said, every other month. So if you are selected to attend the roundtable, Joe and I are there live. We don't invite anyone from leadership. It's just you and us. If you drive, to come and share your thoughts about your experience so that we can continue to improve. And we do those every other month so that we can give us time to implement those things that we take from those meetings. So we invite you to, if you're invited, we really recommend that you attend. So yeah.
All right, so we will talk about accidents, right? So of course, certain things should be obvious, but I want to point out some things. Now, and Dave, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe between Jersey, we go to New York a little bit, but between New York and I believe Virginia, between those that window right there, there's only 6 contractors now, right? In that lot, it was 7, right? And we all know each other. So the reason why we're at 6 is because somebody lost their contracts. When somebody loses their contract, people lose jobs. So it's unfortunate, but of course, why? And let me give you, and you can fact check everything. Now, most in the Amazon world, you talk to any of these contractors, that's AFPs, the Amazon Freight Partners, they do not hire unless you have at least 1 year experience, right? At least 1 or 2, but minimum 1, right? Have you seen Shorter, Dave?
No. It might be one other carrier that does it, but it's just us and
Oh, you don't have to
account.
don't even throw the name out. Don't even throw the name out.
Yeah.
But the fact
I
that
think it's one other company.
okay, right. And so on just to let you know, and then on top of that, because for insurance purposes and for experience purposes and for liability purposes, and even if you try to go in, let's say if you've been on Amazon and you try to go on and apply, and it tells you experience less than 6 months, the application gets automatically rejected, right? So you have to know to get around that, to go to the company and see if they'll hire you case by case based off of the company's policies. I say that to say, we're one of the few that I know in Baltimore at that Quad Avenue location, no more than 2 that hire brand new, straight out of school, no experience. There is, and of course, people been here. I get that, but we are bringing people on that's new because, as you know, if you've been here less than a year, you're new. You're new because the criteria has got to be at least a year or more. So less than a year, a lot of times truckers, companies don't want to touch you. They don't want to take on that risk. Why? Because the exchange is, are you going to be safe? That's number 1. And are you going to be a risk to the insurance? That's number 2. So because we take on that risk, the exchange is safety has to be here. It has to be here. Now, not to say if we had, 5 years experience, safety would go down. No, it'll still be here. But even just think about it. We're taking people straight out of North American or Allstate. It has to be here. So in saying that, if we're going to take a risk, what is the exchange? The exchange is we're going to be doing more than the average company because they're not taking that risk. It's simple math. So I say that to say, just know this. Following distance is a big issue with this company. It's a big issue. We're doing good, but we can be doing better. And we are not on a cents per mile model. We are on a per hour model. So what does that mean? You don't need to rush. Your money's not tied to miles, cents per miles. No, your money's just tied to, you're here, you do the job within 12 to 14 hours, you get paid. Truck breaks down, whatever. It doesn't matter. You still get paid, right? So it's favored towards the driver. So in saying that, any accidents that happen, just understand, I already seen it with my own eyes, somebody lose their contract for drowsy, fatigue, all types of other reasons. But at the end of the day, it came down, it was just, I don't know. I'm not going to speak on them. I can only speak on how we can learn from that situation. And that's what all the other carriers are talking about. So safety is ultimately high. It's high. So following distance, I mentioned that. Nobody should be really up on anybody's bumper, period. There's no reason. Even if somebody cuts you off, create that distance, that 3-car length distance. Nobody should be, speeding, phone distractions, lane changing. But the main thing I want to highlight, if you forget anything, following distance, that is the main thing. And understand, if you are somebody that your smart drive is over 30, that is high. That is high. You can look it up for yourself. Everybody should have access to their own smart drive. If your smart drive is over 30, you are in red territory. And chances are to keep it, there are a lot of people on the team that's at a 0, right? If you know, you go look at your smart drive right now, regardless of any excuse, regardless of, I've been good in the past. The past, you can't eat off of yesterday's food. You can only eat off of food that's in front of you right now. Right? So I say the past doesn't matter when it comes to, can you continue to perform? So I say that to say, do your best. You're only responsible for how you drive. Do your best to make sure that smart drive is low, very low, under 30. Really, the goal should be 0. And nobody should be flying. You should be managing your time. So we got some other things to talk about, but the main thing I wanted to highlight was a lot of these accidents that are happening is because people are rushing, people are not doing proper pre-trips, They're not going through the necessary measures that, Cass and Dave's going to talk about preventable, non-preventable things. But just understand, we're already taking a risk. That alone right there, we're going to automatically put the bar up super high, because not too many people are even in this territory because they don't want to take no risk. So because we're taking this risk, I'm not saying you have to be perfect, but you got to be mindful and just understand, if something happens and you're under a year, and you have a lot of points and you're affecting the team overall score, the cohesiveness of the team, we're going to pull you off the schedule. That's what it is. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. You just got to look at the numbers and figure out the numbers. If you need coaching, we'll coach you. We'll talk about that. But the biggest thing, we will pull you off. That's what it is. Immediately. There's no coach, right? Oh, first, second time, no. We're going to pull you off immediately. That's number one. Number two, if you have excessive points, we're probably going to part ways. That's just what it is. Why? Because I seen with my own eyes. We started off with 8 contractors. Now we're down to 6. And why? It's because people were not aggressive with safety. I know this for a fact. So I'm going to pass it back to Cass. But the main thing I want to highlight is, yes, we're already taking a risk anyway. So the main thing is to figure out on your end as a driver, what can I do to make sure I'm doing my part so I am not, in a sense, a liability, right? So what can I do when it comes to that? Any questions, you can reach out to the team, but just know you're hearing it from us that if you are somebody that's going to put us at risk, which is safety, and it's going to mess up our contract, we're not doing that for nobody. It's better you find a better place that's suited for you, that's not so big on safety, and then you guys can work together, because that's not going to work for us. I just want to be clear on that. Okay.
I'll just add one thing, and then I'll pass it to Dave to talk about the preventable versus non-preventable. I'm going to say this every call, just because I think it's such a wonderful story and testament of our company. So when we first started doing trucking, Joseph was not thought of at all. We were just running 4 trucks
Mm-hmm.
on our own independently. And our score was so incredibly great. Our safety score, our on-time score, our acceptance, everything. It was amazing. Like, we were really starting out really strong, so much so that Amazon contacted us and said, we want you to run trucks for us. I say all the time, we thought it was a prank. Like, why are you calling us, asking us to run trucks? We were just running on Relay. We were running for Walmart and some other companies, but they invited us into the AFP program. We did not apply. And the thing that separated us was our safety, our on time, our acceptance score. And that's the thing that still sets us apart. It is really sad to hear that, these are not just people that we met or ran into. These are people that we built relationships with that have lost their contract due to just 1 or 2 people on their team. Really, it wasn't the entire team. They're great operators, but 1 or 2 people can cost you your company. And I say this is a team sport. Like, this is trucking. You're in the truck by yourself. But I'm going to get into this a little bit more later. This is a team sport. You are on a team, and if you're not used to being on a team, then you may not understand how what you do every day impacts a greater group of people. One person has impacted for our company, 40, 50 people, so we're nearing 50 people just, within this company, and one person can really make the difference. So I just say the thing that got us started, safety, the thing that got us invited into this program is the thing that we're going to uphold to the highest standard. So Dave, I'll pass it to you for that.
Okay, yeah, no. So I'll take you guys there. So for the accidents, if you've been through the Joseph Academy, you've seen this firsthand. Like, on our scorecard, there's a section that's strictly for accidents. So one person make a negative decision literally impacts our entire scorecard, which then impacts potential for growth. So to Cass's point, it definitely, one person can affect the entire organization. So when talking about accidents, It's two types of accidents. It's a preventable accident and a non-preventable accident. To make it super simple, a preventable accident is basically when you, as a driver, took all precautions possible to avoid the accident, and the accident still occurred. So an example of that is, you know, sorry, that's non-preventable. A preventable accident is when you did not take all of the precautionary measures to prevent an accident from happening. So an example of that would be like, running into the back of someone because you were following too close, or, hitting a parked trailer or hitting a parked truck because you didn't, swing out too wide. Backing into a parked trailer while you're trying to dock because you didn't make sure there's enough space. So those are all examples of a preventable accident. So preventable just means that there was something that you could have done to prevent it from occurring. Versus a non-preventable accident is when there's nothing you could have done any differently to prevent it from happening. So an example of that, if a reckless driver is on the highway going 100 miles down the highway and runs to the back of you, that is 100% not your fault. There's nothing that you could have done to avoid that. Another example is if you're going the proper speed, you have the proper following distance, and you're in a snowstorm and you slide and hit somebody. As long as you meet the criteria of not speeding and having a proper distance, then you're fine. Then that would be considered a non-preventable accident. So it's two very distinct differences between the two. So the whole premise of it, and this is how Amazon will start grading us moving forward. They're going to look at all accidents to see, hey, was this a preventable accident or non-preventable? If it was a preventable accident, then of course it's going to affect our scorecard negatively, where a non-preventable will still have an effect on our scorecard. It just won't be as great. Not to say, people should be out here crashing, to Joko's point, but the point is, like, we do understand there are some situations that are out of our control, right? So what we're honing in on is the controlled accidents. It's the people, backing up at docks and hitting parked trailers, or leaving the trailer doors open and ripping the trailer door off, or you're driving down the road in the snow going 60 miles an hour and you spin out and crash. Like that's what we're trying to hone in on. That needs, like, that has to stop. Because to Joko's point, like, at the end of the day, in order for us to be a business, you have to have insurance. If we become high risk for insurance, and then we have to jump around to different insurance companies, if the insurance cost gets higher, that directly impacts growth as well. So that impacts, potential raises, that impacts promotions, that impacts a lot. So, the reason this is a major talking point, one, it's been a little uptick in minor accidents, but just accidents are accidents at the end of the day. And then two, we want to get ahead of it before it becomes an issue. The second part of this, which wasn't necessarily on here, but the second part of this is the drowsy and fatigue driving. We haven't had any major cases of this recently, so amazing job on that team. This is more so just a reminder. If you are tired, if you know you're falling asleep, pull over. If you're on the highway, get off the highway and then park, call dispatch, and then, let dispatch go from there. What you should never do is park on the side of the highway. Under zero circumstances should we ever be on the side of the highway unless your truck breaks down. If your truck breaks down and you have no choice but to be on the side of the highway, make sure your triangles are out and make sure, that your headlights are on, etc. But if you're tired, no one should be pulling over on the side of the highway to take a nap because that is considered a preventable accident if an accident occurs. So I just want to stress those two things because, like I said, we haven't had any major situations with that, but it's still definitely a call out. I'm bringing you guys back on. Still definitely a call out that, should be, talked about.
Yeah, I will say, pulling over to sleep on the side of the road, that's not what we do here. It's just not what we do. It is so unsafe for you, so unsafe for people on the road. Don't do it. You'll be putting your job at risk. Don't do it. Pull over, find somewhere safe if you need to rest, but do not pull over the side of the road.
Yeah, it's a fireable offense. Just want to be clear on that. If nothing's wrong with the truck, you're not pulling over because you had to pull over based off of what Dave mentioned, and you're just pulling over to check your phone, or you want to take a nap. Automatic fire is a fire. We have too many situations I've seen personally that you become a risk to the public, you become a risk on the highway. It's just an automatic fireable offense. Matter of fact, Amazon will probably offboard you and ban you. I've seen it happen. So before that even happens, we just part ways. So, you know, you have TAs, you have truck stops, you have big parking lots off the highway, away from people. So, you know, just keep that in mind. And you got to manage your sleep. You know, there's no training to manage your sleep. You just have to manage your sleep.
All right. The next thing I want to talk about is it came up in our roundtable. So people were talking about the things that were challenging them in their job. And sometimes the challenges are the people that come behind you or in front of you when you're working. We talked about people that are not doing proper pre-trips and then they're leaving the vehicle to somebody else to fix or report damage. We talked about people leaving trash behind. I mean, these are the things that you all were bringing up as like big concerns. People being just nasty, being gross. So that is a major concern. This is a complaint of your team members. So we want to. So I'll just give you guys a little bit of information. So any other companies that we do a lot of auditing. We use our own team to audit. Like for instance, we have delivery van drivers. We have someone that goes and audits them, like literally drives behind them and make sure that they're driving safely, make sure that they're delivering properly. And we do this like 5 or 6 days a week. It's a big deal because we have incredible scores across the board for safety. No matter our company, we have really, really high safety standards. So it's the same thing for Joseph. The shadowing though is going to be on the team. So I'm going to talk about something that we're going to be doing new. We're calling it like the shadow culture. This is going to be a part of who we are. You all went to school and you spent a lot of money likely to become a CDL driver. It is something that is very needed and it's in high demand, and it's something that will likely be around for years and years to come. A lot of people go into this industry because they want to be independent and they want to work alone and they want to be their own boss one day and all that good stuff. But when they start, they typically start on a team. Like Joseph Distribution is a team. You are not alone. You may feel like you may be a solo driver on paper, but you are ultimately a part of a team. When we get a scorecard, there's no scorecard just for one person. There's a scorecard for Cameron or Jerry or just one individual. There is a total scorecard for everyone. And every time anyone does anything, the scorecard goes up or the scorecard goes down. It doesn't matter. It doesn't say, it just says Joseph Distribution. There is no, for our company, it says Joseph Distribution. It doesn't say, hey, you know, you can see who did it when you dig deep down into the numbers. But at the end of the day, it says Joseph Distribution. You are a representation of this company. And so anything that goes wrong, whether we do an improper pre-trip or we damage the truck, all they see is Joseph Distribution on the side of that vehicle, right? So we need to, as a team, work together to take care of our vehicles. So what it's going to look like is we're going to help each other out, and we're going to find out who is not doing what they need to do. I'm not asking you guys, this is not about being a snitch culture or anything like that. What this is about is us operating in the best way we can and creating a comfortable and safe environment for other people that we're working with, because again, we're on a team. So for instance, if you get into a truck and that truck is nasty, and y'all know what I mean, it smells bad, somebody left trash in there, there's been sunflower seeds, whatever the case, say something to your dispatcher or post it in the on the road communications, and you can tag Cass and you can tag Dave and put in the truck number that you're in. And what we're going to do is we're going to start tracking who was in that truck before, and we're going to reach out to this person. We're going to start writing them up, right? You are leaving these trucks nasty. You don't have to put the person's name out there. We'll look up the person's name. But if you get into a truck and it is filthy, and on the road communications, tag me, tag Dave, we'll be looking it up. And we'll work with Bree to do the write-up. The other thing is if you get into a vehicle and it's clearly what a pre-trip was not done, put the truck number. Hey, I got into such and such. It has like no coolant in it. It has no, I don't know what
Yeah, go air
whatever your pre-trip is. It's something you can clear. Somebody didn't put fluids in the vehicle, right? There's no windshield wiper fluid in there. Like somebody didn't do what they needed to do. Put the truck number in there, because if you're getting in and after
the lines, you didn't check.
Yeah, check the lines. If you did not do what you needed to do but if the person that came in front of you did not do what they needed to do, and then it made your job more difficult, we need to know who this person is so that we can train them properly. We always say Joseph Distribution is a training ground. That's why we take people 1 day out of school, 2 days out of school, 2 weeks out of school. We'll take people under our company because we want to teach you the right way. I want to create, I can speak for myself. I want to create safe roadways. I have nephews out there. I have my parents out there. I have siblings out there on the road. And I personally feel very comfortable knowing if it's a Joseph driver on the road with them versus any other company, because I know our standards of safety. But we can't let these standards of safety slip because we're hiring new people and they may be new and they don't have the good habits that you have. So you have to say something. You have to, when you're coming up behind that person, think of yourself as a shadow. I am checking not only for my own safety that day, but I'm checking for the person that I'm coming after, right? That person that was before me, did they do what they need to do? If they didn't, let me help them build good habits. Let me say what's going on. Because no one wants to get into a filthy vehicle. No one wants to get into an unsafe vehicle. If you don't say something, then we cannot fix it, right? We can't keep having we can have these roundtables every other month and we'll be coming back to the same thing. If you do not say something about someone that is having problems in their vehicle, then we cannot fix it, all right? So again, if you are seeing something in a truck that is unsafe or that is nasty or filthy, report it. Put the truck number in. I'm getting in truck number ends in 712 and it is nasty, or I'm getting in 712 and clearly a pre-trip wasn't done, or there is new damage on this vehicle that was not there. Just report it. Even if you're not really sure, still report it. We'll check it out. And then that way it's going to be the same. You know how it is. It's 80-20 principle. 80% of the team's doing what they need to do. 20% is not. We can deal with the 20% and get them up there, because we do want to be, we want us to be a standout company. We don't want to just be, we want to set the standard for all the other companies, which is what we're doing. We have a really, really, really strong safety scores. We have really strong scores overall. So we have set the standard and we want to maintain that. Also, this is just me trying to help the team out. Before you get in the vehicle, we call you an hour before you come in. Shower up, right? Shower up, practice good hygiene. Somebody's going to have to come after you. Don't smoke in the vehicle. Don't get in the vehicle smelling like smoke. Be mindful that somebody's going to come after you, right? If you come into work and you feel good about yourself, right? Somebody's calling you before you come in. Come to work feeling good about yourself. Wash your face. Take a shower. Get ready for your day, right? And that's not something I should have to say, but I'm saying it because sometimes you get in those vehicles and you can tell that person did not come to work ready. Coming to work ready is not just, and wash your clothes before you get in. Don't try to wear the same thing every time because that's your work uniform. Wash that thing. Be mindful of people that come in after you. All right. So I don't want to be, that person that's trying to mother y'all, but at the same time, y'all got to do better with the hygiene. Getting in there nasty is not how we're going to move here. We should not smell you and you're outside the truck. Shouldn't be. All right. So I'm off my soapbox on that, but let's make sure we are being mindful of that and making some changes. So, all right.
I do want to add something real quick. And I don't mean to jump topics, but it was just relevant to what you just said, Cass. So with reporting an issue, right? Like Cass said, one, if we don't know about it, it's hard for us to make any changes, right? Even to the point of you guys have made a report about just ROC and how our dispatch team handles ROC sometimes, and just the responses that you guys get. That was something that we had a meeting. What was the same day, Cass? Or was it the very next day? I mean, it was an immediate change. That we were able to talk to our dispatch team and make a change of we had a meeting. I did a retraining essentially. ROC sometimes makes decisions that don't make logical sense. So we just talked more so about like, hey, think logically behind it. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. Hang up, call somebody else, right? So that's just an example of just like when something happens, if you guys are having a barrier, like we need to know, you know what I'm saying? Because at that point, then that falls on us that we can change it, make it better. The whole premise is we want to make it as easy and seamless as possible for you guys every day, right? You already have enough worries of driving a semi truck. Just that by itself is stressful in itself. So if we can alleviate some type of stress, as much as we can, by doing whatever we can do to do so, the first thing we need is the communication to say, hey, this is a problem. Or this is my concern, or this is my barrier that I'm having every day. And then from there, we can assess what we're doing, and if it's a change that we need to make, or it's a change that we can, talk to Amazon about, whatever the case may be. But it has to come from you guys. Like that data has to come from the people who are dealing with it every day. So I know it was a different topic a little bit, Cass, but it was just relevant to what you were talking about. So so I just want to throw that in there.
Did you want to go ahead and talk about the training that you did?
Oh yeah, for sure. So basically with the dispatch training, we went back over like hours of service, as well as talking to ROC, of course. With hours of service, we're going to focus a little bit more, give you guys more of a heads up if you're getting close to your hours of service. Also, the edits that you guys are getting, where a lot of the UDT edits, I know some of them were edited incorrectly, but we're going to be focusing a little bit more on making sure that you're getting the right edits, number one, or that you're being assigned the correct UDT. But then besides that, for those who don't have iPhones, because I know some of you don't, we have an iPad now at the office to where if the dispatcher, asks for your login so they can set the edit for you, they can do so. So we don't have to necessarily wait, until your next shift to get that edit, to get that out of service violation off. So it's more so, the whole training was more so just focused on honing in on the things that we know are an issue and then correcting it as such. We have a direct contact now. Well, we've had him for some time, but he's super responsive now with Amazon. So if there is an app issue, we're able to send him, that's what this team has been asking you guys for pictures, because we're able to send it to him. His name is Jerry. We're able to send it to him, and he's able to correct whatever the problem was, like live. So then, I'm sure you all have noticed too, the decrease in violations you were having because the app wasn't switching over, because we're able to get those knocked out a lot quicker with having a direct connect to Amazon. But the training itself, every single dispatcher went through it. So Wendy, Paul, Spencer, Antonio, Javier, Oshi, Leon was present. I was present, obviously. And we laid everything out on the table. Went over all your guys' concerns. For example, I can give an example, right, Cass? Okay, so for example, somebody had a situation where ROC was like, oh yeah, just find an empty trailer and take it and just leave. There's no logic behind that, right? Like that's just a lazy person at ROC that doesn't want to do anything, I'm assuming, which is why they told you to take any trailer. As you all know, you have to sign that trailer out. You got to get checked out with that trailer. It has to match what's in the relay system. So things like that, if our dispatch team is hearing things like that, we're just hanging up, calling somebody else. Because if we follow that instruction, then that then comes back on us, which then comes back on you unnecessarily, right? So, just like anything else, the ROC representatives, I mean, they're going through mass hiring as well. So a lot of these people are brand new. They have, this the first time in a setting like this, when it was your first time dealing with Amazon, I'm sure you guys saw all the ups and downs that came with it as well. But so a lot of them, this is a first time. Some of them are just lazy. That's just the reality behind it. So our dispatch team, we're going to be looking a little bit deeper at situations. If it doesn't make sense, we're just going to hang up, call somebody else, or escalate for a supervisor. Because again, the premise of our dispatch team is to make your guys' lives easier, to take that stress away, take that back and forth with ROC away, which is why dispatch talks to ROC directly. So just wanted to throw that out there to you guys. Actually, another thing too, while we're talking, another feedback that I got personally from the Joseph Academy was the training for the intermodals. So I took that feedback back to Amazon. Javier actually went, and all of my trainers did as well. So our trainers and Javier all went to a training for the intermodal. And we're trying to figure out how to set it up, but there's a way that we can request an intermodal trailer for a day, and we'll basically have everyone come to the office or another location if we find one. And Javier and the trainers will show you everyone how to actually walk around, do the inspection. If we have enough time to drive it, we will. The major thing just with driving is top heavy. That's it. So just make sure you're slowing down around those turns or getting on and off of ramps because it's top heavy. Versus traditional trailer. The weight is equally distributed. Intermodals are a little bit top heavier. So, but that was direct feedback from you guys that it did take us a little bit of time because we had to go through some motions with Amazon. But that's just another example of you guys come to us with an issue. We're gonna do what we got to do to solve that problem. So for the intermodal training, just look out for an invite from Javier. Once we get it set up, I believe we have pamphlets to hand out as well, so you guys can take it back with you. I tell you, we'll record it while you're there. Just record it, so you can always refer back to it. I'll see if we get it recorded as well. But if you come to the training, definitely record it so that way, like I said, if you're out there, you have an issue, you can always refer back to your recording to see like, hey, how do I do this again, or what have you.
Yeah, and I mean, to your point, Dave, like the team's grievances become our grievances. If the team's like, hey, we need intermodal training, or hey, we're being misdirected by dispatch or ROC, or hey, HOS is an issue, or hey, the trucks are dirty. Whatever y'all report to us are the things that we're going to be focused on and working on. If you're telling us, hey, this team isn't doing a proper pre-trip, that's the things that we're going to be focusing on. So continue to give us the feedback so that we can continue to create a better environment for everyone. Did you want to? Well, that kind of leads into call-outs.
Yeah, for call-outs. So I do want to say this. There's a lot of people that's doing a great job. Cass mentioned 80, 20, 80%, maybe even 90% of people are doing really, really well. Really, really well. No complaints, superstars, rock stars. But we just have to speak to that situation so we can get to 100%, right? Because that's the goal. So we do get graded. There's a score. You have on time, you have acceptance. I'm speaking strictly on acceptance. Then you have app usage. Then you have disruption. Acceptance. This is directly connected to call-outs, meaning think about it as a reliability score, meaning every week we're committing to loads, to run those loads. Based off of you running these loads, you have enough drivers to run these loads. When people call out, then we're having to play shuffle, right? And get people to cover and pay overtime. And unless it's a load board situation, we'd rather not pay overtime unless it's load board. That's where it makes sense for the business, not on call outs and having somebody, now we're trying to play catch up. We don't want to do that. It has to make sense for the business. So again, load boards is where it makes sense. I'm sure some of you guys have done load boards and it's good money for you guys. You get overtime. That's where it makes sense because that's extra. Extra can cover that. But the existing, what we're already committed to do, and somebody calls out and then we're having to reject, that messes up your acceptance score, which brings the overall score down. And how the score works is not an average of the 4. It's the lowest of the 4. So if whatever your score, you can have 99, you can be 100 and everything, and have 90 in one area, then you're 90. That's your grade. That's how the grade works. So we say that to say this model that we have, yes, people get overtime sometimes off the load board, but the model is designed 3 days on, 4 days off. That is the model. That's the design here. Why? So people can do other things with their life and still get 40 hours. So in our mind, it doesn't make sense that people work 3 days a week and still calling out. It makes no sense at all. Because you typically, think about it, if you do 13, 14 hours, 14 times 3, that's 42. So you're averaging between 40 to 42 hours a week, and you could work 3 days. So there's, again, life happens. I get it. But especially for those people that's been here under a year and we're still getting to know you, and we already took a risk because we got you right out of school, and then you're calling out, that's a win-loss for us. So just understand, you are working you're not touching any freight, and you're in the Amazon world, right? And you're in these brand new trucks that we get washed on a consistent basis, that we're gonna have somebody come in also, like wipe it down for you guys. And you don't have to go to these diesel TA stations. We deal with the CNGs. This is like premium concierge service in a sense, right? Because you're driving like these top-notch vehicles. So I say that to say, again, if you're somebody that's a repeat offender when it comes to call-outs, not one-off, repeat offenders, we're not going to waste time. It doesn't make sense. We got a long line of people that want to work here, and they're grateful to work here. Again, those that are doing what they got to do, hats off. I commend you. We appreciate you. Keep doing what you do, and don't stop that. If we're not talking to you, then we're not talking to you. You already know. But if we're talking to you, then we're talking to you. You know, it's very simple. So again, 3 days on, 4 days off. Overtime is designed for load board. That is where it makes sense. If you're getting 4 or 5 days and you're not on load board, it's because number one, we're short people, right? And we ramping up, and that's not the design, but whatever, we got to get it covered. So we get it covered. It's better to do that than reject. Or number two, somebody call out and you got to cover their shift. But once we get those things handled, the design is the 4th day is supposed to be on a low board. That's where it makes sense business-wise. That's where it makes sense. So again, thank you to those that's doing a good job. We're not like coming in and chopping heads off. No, we're just letting you know, hey, there's always room for improvement. We can always do better. If you can bench 100, then guess what? You can bench 110. We're going to keep adding on weights because it makes you better. It makes us better as a team, as a collective, right? But again, the call outs, less than a year, you're just kind of playing with fire. You're gonna end up going on the road and driving somewhere else with another company, you know? So just being completely honest with you. Now, again, life happens, and we get proof, we get doctors note, all those things. But again, we're already taking a risk. I'm not lying. We're putting that out there. We're already taking a risk. So the bar is here. That's just what it is.
All right. Some other things that came from the roundtable is cleaning supplies, a request for cleaning supplies. We had to first request a new box. Our last box broke and was flooded. So we now have a new box there. There are trash bags in the new box. I will talk about that in a second. But that as of tomorrow, there will be cleaning supplies in the new box. Our leadership is committed to it to make sure that those cleaning supplies are there. If they're not there, please message me. My name is Cass. It's right there in the corner. If you do not see cleaning supplies on tomorrow afternoon, but we'll have like Lysol wipes, things in there. We're still kind of coming out of flu season a little bit. I know I was under the weather for a little bit, so there's just stuff going around. So just, take a couple minutes, just wipe it out, make sure that you're safe, make sure you're not taking anything home to your family. So definitely check that box out starting tomorrow for cleaning supplies when it gets low. Just put a little message out on the communications or dispatch and say, hey, cleaning supplies are low, so we can refill it. We'll be dependent on your eyes for that. We have also identified someone that can come and clean our trucks monthly. We have a professional company that comes quarterly, but as soon as they leave, those trucks can get dirty again. So we do have someone that has raised their hand and said they want to come and clean the trucks monthly. So we'll be working. They'll start in March. They'll be coming out once a month to do all the trucks. So they'll just be there throughout the day. If you see them, say hello. So we're going to see how it works out with this person because they've been asking to do it for so long. So we'll let us know how it's going because, if they're doing a good job, then you all can tell us. And if they're not doing a good job, you can let us know as well. We'll still have the professional company come out quarterly, but we'll also have someone come out monthly as well. And they'll be focusing on this sanitizing the vehicle. Hopefully you guys can sanitize in between, but this person is really going to get in there and make sure that they wipe that vehicle out really good. We've also reached back out to Amazon. They used to spray the outside of the trucks. So we reached back out to them to see if they can start spraying the trucks again. Another thing, this roundtable is so important. Another thing that came out of the roundtable was some people that's needing extra help, needing extra support in training. So there have been trainers that have volunteered to give you extra support. So the only thing that we need is we need an extra trailer. So we have reached out to Amazon to request an extra trailer. We don't have any promises yet from them. This is outside of the intermodal, but just a regular trailer. We have an area, a dock that's empty, an empty dock down the street, or a set of docks down the street. So we're hoping we get a trailer, once a month. And if anybody's struggling with backing up or turning or anything, you can come and you can spend some extra time with the trainer in your free time. But we will be, the trainers, we will be paying them to spend some time with you to make sure that you're getting the practice that you need. We want you to be a strong driver. We want you to feel confident every time you get in a truck, even so that you can one day even be a trainer if that's something that you seek to do. Also, we had our first charity event for all locations, for every company that we work with. We had a charity event. It was partnered with the Baltimore Rescue Mission. So I just want to say thank you guys so much. We donated so much stuff. I mean, for all the companies combined, we gave clothes, food, money, just all kinds of things. I just want to sincerely thank you for helping us fill up this food bank. It was we got amazing feedback from that. Bree set that up. Who also, works on our HR side. So we want to send special thanks out to her for setting this up for us. We'll be working with that mission again, especially probably when we get closer to the holidays. But that was Baltimore Rescue Mission that we were able to support. So that was a really great thing. Of course, we donated as well. So we didn't just take from the team and hand it over there. We also made some donations. Okay. So the last thing I want to talk about, and then we can open up for some questions. I think we touched on everything. Yes. Okay. The last thing I want to talk about before we open up to questions, and you can, like right now, there's a comment section that's on the side. It's just like private chat and comments. You can go ahead and type in comments, questions there that you want us to address. This is your time. So you can go ahead and start now. But okay, this is a topic of the trash at the lot. All right. There are trash cans there. No other company has trash cans there. We have to have trash cans there because our company was throwing the trash on the ground, and we had animals coming from the woods, possums and raccoons and things. And we were getting ready to kick out. They sent us a message saying we're getting ready to kick out Joseph Distribution, AJODL, from the lot. Like, you guys are going to be out of the lot. We found another lot. It is a garbage lot. I hate the lot. It has huge potholes. Your car would get tore up in there, but we do have a backup lot in case we do get kicked out. But where we are now is it's gotten better, but the trash is now overflowing, right? Again, we are a team. If you see the trash overflowing, there are trash bags in the bin. Gabe has many times pulled the trash bag, tied it up, put it aside, put another trash bag in there. It is not a big deal to do that. It is not a big ask to do that. I go back, I was talking about this earlier today. So I used to work with Enterprise. I don't know if you've been in Enterprise, but what do? You got to dress up to come to work every single day. I said, dress up. I used to put my little suit on. I used to come to work straight out of school. And, we had to wear stockings, everything, right? If our car wash person didn't show up, guess what we were doing? Washing cars. If our janitor didn't show up, well, guess what we were doing? Actually, they ended up letting go of the janitor because this was the time when the economy wasn't doing good. Guess what we did? We each got to take a week to clean the bathroom. Why? Because we were a team and we had customers. We had to take care of people. So we were cleaning bathrooms. We were washing vehicles and our high heels and stockings and everything else that we had to do because we were a team, and we didn't complain about it. It was just like, this is something that has to get done. Trucking is not one of those clean hands kind of it's not a clean hand kind of thing. You get your hands dirty. If you're not doing a pre-trip, then I don't know what you're doing. You're going to get your hands dirty every day. So if you guys can pull the trash, just pull the trash bag, tie it up, put another trash bag in there. You have gloves. You have access to gloves. If you need gloves, let me know. I will get you a pair of gloves. When you see the trash overflowing, don't take a picture of it and send it to us. That's y'all's trash. I didn't put no trash in there. Sure, Dave didn't put no trash in there. Leon didn't put no trash in there. Pull the trash, tie it up, put it to the side, get another trash bag, put it in there. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. If you were out solo, you'd have to get your trash up. We're supplying you trash bags. Just don't send us pictures of overflowing trash. Just pull the trash bag. It's not that hard. You're a team. It's not going to be you. It shouldn't be you every time. It shouldn't be Gabe every time. Pull the trash bag. Just pull the trash bag, right? It's not a big ask. Just pull the trash bag, tie it up. There's other trash bags in the metal thing. If you don't know where that is, call the dispatch or ask Javier. He'll tell you where it's at. Just open it up, put a new trash bag in there. Not a big ask. Nobody's asking you to wipe out the inside of the trash can, anything like that. Just pull it, tie it. Everybody should know how to take out the trash, right? So that just makes it easier for everybody. No one should have to. You shouldn't be waiting for someone to come serve you and take out their trash and make sure that, you know what I'm saying? Just help each other out, pull the trash. Not hard. All right. All right. We got a question. Okay. Cameron, thank you for being here. So thanks for the shout out and making it even though you're working. Nicholas said, is there any way you guys can communicate with Amazon about the GPS saying a bunch of routes being restricted? When they are not. We have brought this up to them. We're touching this, but this has been a continued conversation.
We talked about this a lot with Amazon. The best way, I'm gonna just be honest, the best way that we can combat this is, one, send us a screenshot of where you are, that it says a restricted road, take pictures if it says restricted for tractor trailers. The second thing is, in your Relay app, there is a section, you got to hit like the little hamburger menu. There's a section down there that talks about feedback. Go in there and do the same thing. Upload the pictures and express your feedback. We personally have talked to our Amazon MMPM about this several times. And the feedback is the same. Oh, we need examples. We need, screenshots. We need pictures. So, that is one of the, that's a great talking point. But the best way that, Amazon, they're a data-driven company. So if it's just one person saying it, nothing's going to change because it's not enough data to say that a change needs to be made. When multiple people say it, multiple carriers say it, if everyone from Joseph is saying it, then, we should, then we'll start seeing some movement and some change behind it. So for that, send pictures to the dispatch phone. If you want to put it in Sling, tag me just so I can have it as well. But then also put that feedback in the Relay app as well.
Yeah. No matter what side of the business you're working with Amazon, like Dave said, they're data centered. So the more data they have, they base on their attention on what they receive the most data about. So if everybody from our company, every time we see that and you're posting in there, that's going to move up their priority list. If we talk about it on our calls, they're going to say, okay, thank you. They're going to make one note about it, right? But if you put in there in the feedback there and you do it every single time, that thing will start moving up. And I think they pull that data every 7 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. They pull that data every 7 weeks, and then they focus on what is the thing they saw the most. They're just a database company. We could tell them every time, but they're only going to write it down one time because they're one company. But if they see multiple drivers reporting it, they will fix it. All right. I think that's Davin. Am I saying it? I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Can y'all ask Amazon to give a better route for Mount Joy? The route they take you is not prohibited for the truck and trailer. So that's similar to what Nicholas was saying. What you want to do is hit that hamburger. We say hamburger. It's like the 3 lines at the top.
Yeah.
And then also we will write this down. We record these. We'll write this down and we report it to our business coach. Again, we're one person reporting it. But if you guys report it, it's like an army reporting it. So definitely report that you are having a problem specifically with Mount Joy, and we will bring that up as well. I just want to write that down.
I got this one. Devontae, come to the office tomorrow if you can. It's at the office. It's your gift card. So yeah, just come to the office.
Oh yeah, get your money.
Yeah. Just come to the office.
You don't want it.
If you don't want it though,
let me know.
I will gladly. I know.
Yeah, Jerry donated his to the drive that we have, that which was very nice. I'm not saying you have to do that, Devontae. Get your money.
Nicholas, yep, same thing as Davin. That's the same road. Yeah, same thing. Take some pictures for me. Next time you go out there, if you see the restriction sign, send a picture of it. That would help. That would help me tremendously to fight that with Amazon.
Yeah, and every Monday we send a message to our coach about the things that need to be worked on by Amazon. Mm-hmm. We'll just keep posting this over and over again until it gets fixed.
Yep.
So we'll make sure we do our part. So I do have that down. Mount Joy Prospect Road, trailer height restriction. So I do have trailer length restriction. I wrote that down wrong. Trailer length restriction. So we have it down. And you guys, we take this stuff seriously. Like All the things that we talked about today were things that you guys told us were problems. I don't drive trucks. I don't think I ever will. I don't know if I have it in me, but we know what's going on because you guys tell us. So if you tell us it's a problem, we're going to take it seriously. Oh, you're talking about Netrodyne. Oh, we're very familiar with Netrodyne. Dave, this year right here.
Yeah, that's my thing right here. So Netrodyne.
Isn't there like a consent form for Netrodyne that they have to do?
Yeah,
the deadline
everybody did it. Okay. Yeah, the only people that were on the list are people that are on board.
Got it.
So Netrodyne, it is going to replace Smart Drive. I personally have said this since day one, that it should have been Netrodyne, but it's okay. So Netrodyne essentially it's the exact same thing as Smart Drive. It records, driver facing, road facing. It's more built towards AI, so you'll see like the AI lines that show the distance. It's a lot more technology behind it. I'm not sure how the point system is going to work with it just yet. We haven't really gotten any information about that, but basically they're going to come out, take all Smart Drive cameras out, put Netrodyne cameras in, and it's the exact same thing as Smart Drive. It's just a lot cleaner system. We'll be able to send you guys videos of any violation that you have. Hopefully we get none, but of course if we do, we'll be able to see video links instead of just a screenshot as we're doing now. I think Javier is doing like an actual screen recording, but even still, everyone will be able to get the links. You'll be able to see it for yourself. I'm not sure. I think the keypad, like we guys have to manually type in, that's going to go away. Netrodyne system goes off of facial recognition. So once it gets to know who the driver is, it'll be linked to Relay. So when you connect to the truck in Relay, it'll automatically connect you to the truck through Netrodyne. The whole premise of it, I forgot what it's called, but it's like it's called one sign in something, where you just sign in one time to one system and every other system signs in with that one sign in. So you don't have to do, the keypad and then this and then this. You just do it one time, boom, goes everywhere. But if you have a specific question about it, just post it in the chat. But it's just going to replace Smart Drive. But it's the exact same concept. It's just a lot more technology behind it. I personally like it a lot better than Smart Drive. The interface is way better as well. So
yeah. It's single sign-in. You have to say.
Single sign-in. Thank you, Cass. I knew it was something.
We're a team, right?
Yeah, I knew it was something.
Yeah. And Nick, I did get that down about the 45 feet. So I put that in there on our notes. Will there be a more set schedule? I say over time. You stick with us.
I'm gonna be really honest. You got this. The schedule is a beast. And I know you guys are probably tired of hearing us say that. What I would, and I'm not saying this to be funny or be smart. Honestly, come in on a Friday and just see how it's done. The schedule stuff is a beast with people taking off, PTO, losing days for Smart Drive. It's like we got to play Tetris. So it is a little difficult. We are hiring more right now, so to try to get more consistency behind it. But it's a beast. What I can say is the goal is for us to have enough, employees to where it can be semi-set. When during peak season, when we're able to run 7 days a week, it's the same thing over and over again. So it's a lot easier just to repeat schedules. But it's just 6 days a week right now. Amazon will change 6 days for that truck. So that's where the Tetris comes in, that essentially. So it is, it can be a little confusing, but either way, the goal is to have a little more consistency.
Yeah, and then just keep communicating with the scheduler. Like, especially you've been here. Like, once you've been here for a year, like you can. I'm not gonna say throw your weight around, but you could definitely communicate. Like, I've been here for a year now. Is there anything else we can do about my schedule? I have a great Smart Drive score. Like campaign for yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, I'm gonna say this: if your Smart Drive score is over 60, yeah. If your Smart Drive score is like 60 and above, there's no campaigning.
Yeah, it's no conversation.
Your safety gotta gotta validate that campaign. Just on that.
Yeah. But make sure
Um,
that you have the data to hold yourself up. But yeah, have the conversation, and you don't have to have it just once. I mean, don't like beat people down, but definitely have a conversation, have it repeatedly. Like advocate for yourself.
when will the new video system be installed? We have no idea. They haven't given us a date yet. Pretty much how Amazon operates, just like you guys saw with Mirror Eye. A consent form will go out, and then one day people will be there to install something new. So there hasn't been an exact target date yet. Just going off of Amazon's, in the past how they are. I would say by the end of March typically, because I don't think they would do a consent form and then 6 months later, roll it out. So I would probably say between March and April is when they would switch the systems out. But yeah, there's no set target date. Once there is one, then we'll put it out there to you guys. And then C. Jackson, yes, I'll be at the office tomorrow morning.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you for all the great questions. Thank you for attending on today's. We have recorded this. We will post it. So if you wanted to go back and revisit, you can. Everyone on this call is available in Sling. So you can, Joe, probably, you prefer Sling?
Yeah, Sling is good.
Yeah. So everyone on this call is available in Sling. So if you need anything, message us. It's going to show just like it is Cass, Joe, Dave. So yeah. We will cut this off because we're over an hour. But we will do this again next quarter. If you're invited to the roundtable in April, please attend. If you need anything in between, you know where to find us. That's it. Thank you, guys.
All right. Everyone have a great night. Thank you for getting on.
Bye.